Good morning, everyone. I have 15 minutes, and I'm going to keep the time. So my name is Darren Bruce, and I'm here to talk about design thinking. This is like the current name of it. It changes like every week, and I can't keep up. All right. So we have all these names. It's like Agile, UX, yada 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 yada. It's the same with titles. There's so many titles out there that I don't even know what they all are. People ask me like, "Yeah, what's interaction design?" I'm like, I really don't know. You know, I'm just interested in designing products and everything that goes into it. Um, Basically, what it's all about is this, right? It's about people. It's making life easier for people. I'm thinking about how you can do that. So forget like all the trendy names of it, and just focus on this. So first, a little bit about myself. I usually describe myself as a jack of all trades, master of none. I've done so many things in my life, and I can't decide on what I'm supposed to be best at. So I've produced music, I've been DJing, I've been illustrating, I've been doing information architecture and everything. But when it comes to designing products, it's kind of good to have a broad set of experiences, because it's not just one thing, it's so many things that go into it. So for example, what we mentioned in Typo, this is a set of pictograms I did for fun. It downloaded like 750,000 times. Been used by like Adobe and Apple and all other businesses. I've done illustrations. I'm not an illustrator, but I've still done it because it's fun. I've done like big web services with like tons and tons of pages and templates. Also done corporate identities. All right, that's fun. So let's do it. I worked with emojis like these guys. I've done these kind of boring things. I love this. User flows, information architecture. How should the user navigate through this system, this maze? I've done these things as well. This is basically an illustration of a computer done in Photoshop in vectors, so it's scalable. It's just fun trying to make it look real. So it's not 3D, actually. And I've designed complete products. All right, so this is a communications product I did a couple of years ago. So we started out with nothing and decided to have a complete product with everything from start to scratch. It's an amazing journey. And currently I work for Natural Cycles. Have anyone here heard about this here? The women? Yeah, hopefully. I'm not going to talk about that much about Natural Cycles, but basically it's a fertility app. And you are more than welcome to ask me about it afterwards, and all our struggles and so on. But it's a really amazing product. I think it's a really cool one. It's fantastic to work with women as well. I have two daughters and a wife at home, and at work I only concentrate on doing stuff for women, so it's fantastic. So back to this. Making life easier for women, or women, people. Sorry. So this is like when we talk about what UX is, like all these kind of things, it's kind of complicated. I'm not going to go into that. I have like 15 minutes. So instead I'm going to totally broader about it and give you 5 practical tips. So the first thing is people have a problem and they want to solve their problem. And that's where we come in. All right, we want to solve people's problems. So a problem might be that I need to get my hair cut. All right, that's a problem. But then you can split it up to so many things. First, I need to find a place to cut my hair. I need to book it. I need to remember to go there. I need to know where it is. I need to be transported there. I need to wait. I need to cut my hair. I need to pay. So it's like there's a long chain of things that goes into cutting my hair. And that's going to be the total experience. If something along this line falls, people are going to be disappointed with the experience, even though they had a good espresso while they were sitting there in the chair. So people, basically, it's all about meeting people's expectations. You once said before that people's expectations are going up. They have more and more expectations on everything around them, especially digital products. So it's a good thing to think about and like get to know their expectations. And if you can exceed them, that's fantastic. Well, but you don't have to. People don't expect you to exceed the expectations. They only expect you to meet them. And if you don't meet them, you can end up in problem. So I saw this the other day. I was downloading this app because I had to watch some football. And you see, average 1.5 stars was the rating of this app. Why? Well, they missed out on having a Chromecast support, all right? And all the users wanted that, right? The rest of that was beautiful. It worked perfectly. But so the people that want to use the Chromecast were disappointed and all going like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. They didn't meet their expectations. If they only knew that, they can like done something about it. So basically, when I talk about expectations, I usually do this illustration. Think about a door. When you walk up to a door, you have certain expectations on what's going to happen. Like the most common one is like you want to see on the door if it opens inwards or outwards. And if I know it's open inwards, I will walk up to it and open inwards, that's good, right? I have some other expectations, you know. It will be quite heavy, it will have a cold handle, and it will open quietly. So, not meeting my expectations is this then. It's open outwards. So you're walking up to a door like this, damn it, you know, and then open it. You are disappointed. If the sound of the door is like, you're going to be disappointed as well. But if it fulfills everything there in the expectations, and, you know, the handle was a bit warm, it was perfectly weighted, and it also smelled good when I walked in, that will be a superior experience, you know. It exceeded my expectations. And this is like a heads up. Sometimes you have to go against people's expectations, all right? But you have to be aware of like that you are doing it and why. So for example, one company that didn't want to do this was Nokia, right? When Apple came with their iPhone, they asked like clients like, what do you prefer? And everyone was like, I like this one. I like the old Nokia, I like the buttons, you know. And people expected the phone to be this. No one expected the phone to be the iPhone. So they clung on to this one for a long time because they didn't want to break people's expectations. And we ourselves at Natural Cycles did it when we launched a new version of the app this December, right? We changed a lot of things. And a lot of people loved our old app, right? They were really passionate about it, and we changed it. So from having like 5-star rating, we had 1-star rating next week. People were angry, right? And we were aware of this. We had to change because we had to change things for security reasons and be able to expand and add more features. So now, 1 month later, we're back at 5-star because people now get used to our new app. So have new expectations, and they're not disappointed anymore, which is good. Another thing that's worth to remember is it's the total experience that counts. We're talking about the digital experience here, but that's only a small part of it. I mean, for us at Natural Cycles, when we get a 5-star rating, it's not only because of the app itself. It's just as much as to do with support. People love our support. Oh, yeah, they answer me. That's a part of the experience. So you need to like think about the whole experience and involve the whole company when creating great experiences. So, 5 tips, practical ones. First one, this is really hard for a lot of companies. Move complexity from the users to your organization. This means more work for you and less work for your clients or customers. Sounds like a pain in the ass, but yeah, that's what you have to do. So for example, I saw this form from Adobe. So yeah, it's a little bit longer actually. This is fantastic to come up with this one. And also, if you didn't notice, look at the top. It's step 1, all right? So why do you ask for all this information? Like, how can this have been done in a simple way? And probably someone said like, no, I need all this information to be able to do my job. Like, otherwise I can't do my job. Like, well, if you don't get it, my job will be so much harder, right? Move the complexity away for the user, right? So if it's harder for this guy, if he doesn't get all this information, make it hard for him, so it's easy for the customer. Like a small example, like the smallest detail like this, right? If you have an entry field when you're supposed to enter your personal identity number, right? Sometimes you see these crosses, like, yeah, you're supposed to enter this format. Right, how many are there? 6 first and then 4 numbers with a line in between. And if you don't do it correctly, it will say, but it's so easy if you just put a couple of minutes into it to auto do this, so you can enter any format you want, and we can see that it's a personal identification number. Just probably going to take a software developer like 10 minutes extra. All right? Always try to make it easier for the client. One company that does this amazingly well is Klarna. I'm so amazed by what they're doing. They are removing friction all the time. Right now, it's so easy to buy online with Klarna. I'm not a sales rep, by the way. Now, I'm like, every time I click like buy, it's like, oh shit, I'm done. You know, I was always expecting a lot of like fields to fill out and so on. So they exceeded my expectation by making it so easy. And basically, what they've done is like they turn the funnel around. Right? So they've stored information about me, and they present me with what they got. Like, yeah, is this you? Oh, go on, buy. And if I want to change or update or something, then I can opt in to do that. But they removed all the friction. It's really amazing. And they're doing pretty well, I would say. All right? Use the same wording across all channels. This is also super important. I got a letter from DHL. They had a delivery for me. So in the letter it said, like, go to DHL and book your delivery. So they want to deliver something to me, all right? I went to the website, all right? This is a new website, but the old one had the same problem. So when I say book, where can I book? So I see it says book there in Swedish. I click there, but no. That's where I'm supposed to book if I want to send something. I was supposed to go to the one down there, you know, bekräfta, ändra leveransdag. Right. So my expectation here was to find somewhere that said, book your delivery. That's my expectation, not to find that. So I had a hard time finding it because it didn't meet my expectations. Well, we had the same problem at Natural Cycles, you know, before we redesigned a couple of things. We have these promotional gift cards, blah, blah, blah. And the wording on those were not the same as in the app. So they didn't know where to enter the code. I mean, even if it's like 3 buttons, people are like, oh, well, it says promotion code here, and it says subscription code here. Well, it's not the same thing. I don't want to push that button. You have to think across the whole board, you know, sync all channels, all right? This is another example. We did a user test for Boxer a couple of years ago, and when we like set up the question for the users, we had the name of a package in the question. Therefore, 38% went down and found that link, that name in the footer, instead of clicking somewhere else, just because they were only looking for that word. The word was so important to them. So remember this, don't make me think, right? I don't want to think, I just want to do, right? Third one, select the right tool for input. This is so easy to do if you just spend an extra minute on it, and it's such a good thing for users, and your experience yourselves, right? For example, I mean, you see in this one, I'm going to select number of passengers or luggage, and usually they have like a drop-down. So you click on a drop-down, and you scroll, select the number. Slow and stupid, use a stepper instead, right? It's easier. You tap up and down, so much quicker. Or this one, you know, I'm supposed to log in. I'm going to enter my email address. And they have a normal keyboard instead of the email keyboard. So I don't have an @ sign there, right? I have to go into, like, click, where is, okay, another keyboard for that, you know, why? It's so much easier if you just select the right keyboard. It goes fast, it's so easy. Just think about it. This is another one, right? Yeah, both are date pickers. They are, but they're not as good for the same things. Now, the first one is really good if I'm going to set my birth date. I know my birth date, trust me, right? It goes quickly. But if I'm going to set like, yeah, I want to go on a dinner date this date, that one's really hard to use. This one, where I see like, yeah, on Wednesday next week, yeah, that will be good. It's so much easier. And it will make everything appear as more seamless and a more good experience for the user. Number 4. This might cause a bit of controversy because some people don't agree with me. But from my experience, when you have something complex, it's better to do them in small steps where each step is very easy to solve than having a long form or page with a lot of things on it. So for example, before we redesign our product, this was like the setup when you first enter the app. We have to ask a lot of questions, you had to do stuff. And we got a lot of questions on this to support. So what we do is we split this one into separate steps. We removed unnecessary text, we simplified input options, right? We focused input options, so you are focused on them. We had less variation as well on the options. We had less visual noise, and we always have help available. So the next version looks like this. So you see in the middle, right? Are you using any hormonal contraception? And it's like 3 answers. It's so easy to answer this, right? It's just one question on one page. You're like, yeah, click, move on to the next one. We have many of these steps. I think it's like 20 to go through, but it goes quickly now. So completion time is like double, half-and compared to before. And calls to support are almost none now because of this. So it's easy to break it up to small things that people easily can take decisions on than having everything on one page. So then you might be worried, yeah, but aren't you supposed to see how many steps there are? No, you don't have to, as long as each step is really, really easy to do. All right, number 5. Look outside, look for inspiration outside your own industry. All right? When I was a consultant, every company I went to basically said this. They were unique, and our industry is unique. And I asked people have you worked in other industry? No. So how do you then know you're unique? Well, I just know, because everyone says so. And I say, no, you're not unique. You're all working with humans, people. And people basically are the same, all right? So let's say you have a company that have engineers as clients. So this is Jeff, right? This is an engineer. It's your client. Well, he's a Netflix user, all right? He's a movie buff. His name is also Jeff. And here we have a user of Stockholm.se, site for Stockholm, the town, right? He's a dad. So he goes in there and want to see what school his children's going to go to. His name is also Jeff. Actually, it's the same guy, right? So he just wants a seamless experience wherever he goes. He doesn't think of himself being different when he's at work or when he's a dad or he's a movie buff. So what you should do is, first of all, forget about this word. I honestly hate this word. It had nothing to do with it. Instead, go out and look, how do people experience other apps? So for example, when they spend 48 minutes a day using YouTube, but they never ever experience a competitor's app that was released in Brazil 2 years ago, maybe you should start looking at what makes YouTube such a great app. How can we explore that in our app, So copy, steal, learn from them. And then you can add your own spice, your unique selling point into your app. But look outwards for inspiration. For example, you can learn from these guys. The gaming industry is amazing. Sometimes you think it's really hard to understand this app and not get to use it. But at the same time, we have these games that are really, really complex. And kids have no problem understanding them or learning them because they know how to teach people. So that's my final one. Look outside for inspiration. It's really important, and you're not unique, trust me. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So it's all about expectations, meeting the expectations or exceeding the expectations.
Absolutely. That's it.
Good.
Yeah.
To get to a great experience for the customers. Thanks a lot, Daniel.
Thank you.
So it's a small gift, and you can
yeah.
go and get your robe
Oh,
over
yeah.
at the calligrapher. And we need to move on to the next
Absolutely.
topic. So
Take care, mate.
still, if you have any questions, continue to submit them, but we need to move on to the next topic, so we will answer them later on.